Good afternoon. So, starting by is what we are, what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, it is an habit. So, let me ask you a question. How many of you have defined goals for this last year? Did you achieve them? How many of you have failed to achieve them? Yes, and why? This is an important question. So, if we take a look at the main reasons to not being able to achieve an habit, where you may tell me, okay, I do not have time, I do not have motivation, I do not have support, for example, but what is the effect this causes on your attitude and on your perspective of facing challenges and problems? So, the fact here is that you're not alone. This is a good fact. Most of the people, actually 20% of the people fail to achieve their habits, they give up in only one single week. And there's actually a reason behind it, because developing an habit actually needs 66 days to do so. It is quite important. And there's a curious thing that I would like to highlight, that is that there's people, the people who define their goal and who explicitly assume it, have 10 times more, it is 10 times more likely to achieve it. So let's start here. Our main goal with Betcha is to establish the connection between a habit that you want to develop and a new lifestyle. And we achieve this, how? In which way? So we have two main points of action. We have social accountability and we have some financial incentives. And in practice, how this is going to work. So you as a user define a habit, which ideally should be a SMART goal to achieve. You submit it on the platform and you bet a certain amount to prove it. Then you should start developing this habit. You should submit some proofs of development for the company to keep up with your progress. And then in the meantime, Wikipedia is able to submit some bets on your side, for or against. And yes, if you win the challenge, if you achieve your goal, you're going to receive the money of the bettors who bet against you. If you don't achieve your goal, of course you will lose your money, and that money will be circulated. So this is an incentive. There's also some other thing that I would like to emphasize, which is the IoTs used in smart apps and tools and techniques to prove the achievement of the habits and where we'll use them. So we are now in a development stage of the prototype, and it will be a pleasure to show you in a few weeks. So independently of your habit, the habit you're trying to pursue, we have a way to do so. Concerning our business model, we have two main streams of revenue. So administrative fees and interest on the loan fund. And we have some challenges. We have been facing some challenges concerning the legal part, the knowledge part concerning behavioral sciences, for example. So we're counting on you. For clinicians, to wrap up, we are just a pair of individuals keen on developing habits, as you are. So please join us in this journey, and do not forget, Betcha is a movement. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for your pitch. Well, I think it needs some development. You are still in a very, very early idea stage, but it seems like an interesting idea. How do you prevent this project or this idea? Well, two questions. How do you prevent not to be a kind of a simple betting platform, as you have already in the market? So the habit thing, it implies that you should have some discipline in doing repeatedly several times the same thing. So you have to have the ability to measure it and to make sure it's a habit. Or else you can say, well, I'm going to bet that I can go up and down these stairs in 30 seconds. and I will bet I can do it, and my friends will bet I cannot. This is not a habit, it's just a one-shot thing, and let's say a specific goal thing. So, but you are here, I think you are positioning yourselves to be more kind of an impact and more community instrument or platform to improve people's life, not a simple and superficial thing. So how will you develop this in order to be what you want and not this other use that I was talking about?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question for us to think about. So we have given it a thought. So we came with the idea from a very book-established theory that whatever you are doing repeatedly, that brings you to wherever you are. Now, how do we prevent the small one-off batting, which will make the whole batting system not working here, is basically using the IoT and giving them a specific smart way of defining your goals. Like as all the business goals, we understand what is a smart goal, is specific, measurable, and all that. So if we think about a specific idea that it cannot meet all these criteria of smart goals being established. We have a start date, we have an end date, and of course there will be a lot of questions like, what if somebody said, I'm going to be losing weight 5 kilo in 5 days? That's dangerous, so we're going to stop that as well. So in those kind of circumstances, initially we are not really opening it to a broader understanding of you can bet anything. We are specifying these are the categories, subcategories, these are the smart steps, and this is what we can do on that. This is one way to answer your question. The second, yes, I agree with you, this is a community and a healthy practice of making a habit with the community whereby you can add your friends, family who will be against you, and on the other side.
And let me add something else. If you do not have the support of the community, so if you do not gain some bets on your habit, for example, it is not a smart thing, for example. Something quite usual to do. For example, climbing up a stair. So you will not have users trying to bet on you because it is not valuable.
Yeah, I understand that, but it can be a dangerous thing if you don't control it, because I can throw myself up to the third floor, fourth floor to earn money, and then I can die with it. So
it will not be a smart, and we cannot have an IoT to track it. Like we said, if there is no IoT tracking it, we are not really allowing you to place a bet, because if it is not trackable, then I don't want to take the risk of betting on someone else, and I'm not allowing anyone else to bet on me either. So it has to be proven by facts and figures by the app trackers, and it has to be smart as well.
thank you.
This is very, very interesting. I'm trying to think of a dystopian episode of some series that have been done. It's almost like a social engineering on a betting sort of way, which you for sure want to do for good, which is great. But like Antonio can see a ton of scenarios where this could go sideways, but in a very practical way. I would suspect that there are maybe out of gazillions of potential use cases, there will be 10 that people would be willing to bet on. Either lose weight or, I don't know, the Ninja Warrior type of thing. And then other nefarious ones, but you could probably sort of categorize like you said. But the question in any network effect business is, how do you start, right? Because you need the two sides always. You need the people who are actually going to commit to something and the people who want to bet on that. And every single network business model is very, very tough to start. So how do you plan to do this? I don't think there's a right generic answer. I think you probably thought about it. So how do you break this? You need both sides at the same time. So it's like a chicken and egg type of thing.
I absolutely believe that question as well. So to start with, yes, again, we are saying how can we not make it a regular bet, like one-off bet. And to be honest, looking at the regulation of this kind of businesses in Portugal, what I figured out is we need to get approval of each and every single category of betting that we are placing on that platform. From the online betting authority in Portugal. I'm really sorry, I'm not from this land, so I'm not really that sure. But
nobody here is sure of laws. It's not because you're from not here, so no worries.
Yeah. So yeah, the law definitely applies to our entity. So we will abide by that law and to answer that. And moving forward to your second part of the question, let's say, for example, if I were to think about it, I place only 10 bucks for my quitting smoking habit. I'm just saying for an example. It does not necessarily mean we are only focusing on fitness. We are talking about corporations who wants to establish their knowledge management practice in place. They are looking for some sort of incentivizing the community to participate. So in that case, Betcha can put some money on it and then it will be distributed among whoever the first 10 or whatever. So we are thinking about those kind of stuff as well, if not necessarily being restricted to fitness or losing weight stuff only. So if, and also how do we build the community? That's a very good challenge for us in front. But usually we would start with those users that they are athletes or they are secondary in the media or maybe social influencers who are trying to prove their worth by proving their haters that look, I'm capable of promising something and getting something out of it. It gives them value. It gives them solid understanding for their audience. I hope I answered the question.
That was very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have few students from the law school, so if you need help, I'm sure they can help you. But I will just re-emphasize the ethical issues, and I think this needs to be much more mature, because even the example you gave, losing weight, that can be bad for certain people, right? So you need to be very, very careful on the kind of bets you are going to accept or not, and there is no simple way, right? And therefore, this is what I think is still not yet 100% matured from your side. And because if there is a disaster coming from your business, then the reputation really destroys the business. So I'd rather go for a very small number of very well-defined applications where no side effects whatsoever can happen. But that's not easy to find out, because in every single example you gave, I could think about bad use or bad results as opposed to the good things you want to achieve through your business, right? So that's something that I would encourage you to pursue so that you have very sharp ideas to avoid lots of unethical uses of the tool, right? Because even peer pressure can result in disasters, right? Which is you last event, and all the people to win and all the people say, well, just start smoking. I'm giving the other example, right? Is that something you accept? So my bet is to start. So is that something you are not going to accept? So I think that's a little bit what I see as the most critical part of the business idea from your side, but I have no easy answer. So I think you need to think a little bit more on how to avoid unintended uses or abuses of your business idea.
I absolutely agree again. To start. Yes, we have thought about it, and this is the reason we are not putting it as an open-ended ones. We will be monitoring each and every single bet before they get lives as a program.
Thank you.
Okay, now it's time for us to go to Team 7, Equal Wool.